How's it going, everyone? I'm Chase, and welcome to my review of Everybody's Talking About Jamie. Now, this one hits Amazon Prime Video September 17th, and this was actually a 20th Century Studios film, and then they sold it to Amazon for distribution. So, yeah, just a little backstory on that one, because this one has been talked about, pun intended, for quite some time now, and so I didn't know like what was going to happen, because 20th Century Studios released that trailer, and then of course they sold it off to Amazon. So here we are. It's finally being released, and so this film tells the story of Jamie, and he is a teenager that's just going to school. It's in his final year. He's ready to kind of move on and start the next chapter of his life, and he wants to be a drag queen. So that is where we're at, and it's based on a musical. So it is an adaptation of a musical, and the musical is actually based on like a real life person, and so it's transitioned through many adaptations throughout the course of its story. But yeah, so I saw the trailer to it, and I thought it looked good, and I was just like, hey, I am not the best when it comes to musicals. I will tolerate them, but it's not something I like seek. But when the good ones are really good and they surprise me, that's where I get excited, because it's a genre I don't flock to. But when it exceeds my expectations, it's really magical. So it's just one of those things that's like, wow, I want to watch more, but then I never do. But yeah, so musicals are really hard for me to get into, and so I was curious to know how I was going to enjoy this, because I actually really like RuPaul's Drag Race. My wife and we binged 10 seasons of it so far this year when we got Paramount Plus. So it's one of those things to where like I love this community. I love coming of age films. Like this is perfect. I'm really hesitant on the musical stuff. So I saw the film, and it's fine. I think there's a lot of great things about it, and there's a lot of moments in this film that really were well done in execution when it comes to directing, acting, and writing. I think the music part, for me personally, I don't think the songs and just the aesthetic of having the musical numbers and the dramatic scenes, it didn't mesh 100% for me. It felt like the dramatic scenes were great on their own. It felt like the musical numbers were great on their own. And sometimes they would actually work well together with the cohesive narrative. But there was a disconnect there, and I just didn't think, from a directing point of view, it really came across as a tonally consistent musical. It felt like two separate things. And so, like I said, there's a lot of great things about it, but as a cohesive thing, mixing the music and the dramatic scenes, it just didn't really work for me. This might be great on the stage because it is adapted from a musical. Translating to film, I just didn't see it personally. But that's really my only major gripe for this entire thing. There's a lot of great things I liked about it. So let's kind of dive into that. Speaking of the dramatic scenes, the performances are actually really, really good. I really like Max Harwood as the main character. He's charismatic. He's funny. He's got a lot of sadness within him. He basically is what a teenager goes through when they're in high school. And he also, he wants to be a drag queen full time, and you really want him to succeed, and you want him to go through all the hurdles that he's going through to make it to that finish line, because you can see deep down within him he is passionate about this. This is what he wants to do for the rest of his life, and he was just a really good character to follow. But I thought Max Harwood really brought that character to life. So great performance from him. And then the other two I want to shout out, because they were the two that stood out to me the most. Sarah Lancashire, terrible with pronunciations, but she plays the mother. Really great stuff, because this is a relationship to where the father's not in the picture. So she's got to be the parent through and through for Jamie as he is, growing up, and he's about to like leave the nest. He's about to go off to college or whatever he wants to do. And so you can feel that sense of loneliness that's kind of piling on top of her, and she really just wants to savor every single moment that she has with her son. And she's super supportive. And I really love that, because a lot of the themes and messaging in this movie, tolerance and acceptance and just love, and it's a really positive movie, and I really enjoyed that. And the person that really brings that to fruition is his mother. And I thought there was a couple scenes, particularly with her song number, that one actually worked. So that's what I'm saying. Like, some of them work, some of them don't. But her musical number and that scene in particular, it broke my heart. And I was like, you know what? She did a fantastic job. She made that work. She made that transition work into the song. Absolutely loved her performance. She is part one of the heart of the film. Part two of the heart of everybody's talking about Jamie is Richard E. Grant's character. He plays the drag queen that is the mentor for Jamie. So he owns this shop. He has a bunch of clothes. I forgot if in the movie he said that he made most of them. I think he did. Anyways, he has a shop. Jamie visits him. He's like, listen, I want to be a drag queen. Like, can you please help me out? I don't really have anyone to look up to or, kind of guide me on this path. And he does that. And so he's a really great mentor. And I don't know what it is with Richard E. Grant. The guy could be in a Tums commercial, and he'll just make it like just this super like heartfelt thing. This guy can be in anything and just literally be the tenderness, the heart, the warmth to anything that he's in. It's an incredible gift, man. But hey, acting, right? And then everyone else in the movie did a pretty good job. But I was mainly looking at those three because those three were the ones that kind of sung out to me the most, pun intended again, in terms of their performances and how they struck me. So, but yes, everyone else does a pretty decent job. But yeah, for a movie that's an hour and 55 minutes, does it seem to drag on a bit? Yes. Is it a little bit formulaic? Sure. But I think its overall messaging and its positivity and just, be who you want to be, chase your dreams and go for it type of mentality. That's what people are going to like about this movie. And I can totally understand that, because that's what I really enjoyed the most was all of that. I love the themes and messaging to this film. Even though some of the musical numbers don't really mesh well for me, they're actually quite catchy. Like all of them. And even the ones that are a little bit more slower paced and a little bit more kind of heavy with the emotions, those are also wonderful. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I am not going to dog on the actual construction of the songs or like what they mean and all that stuff. All that was fine. It's just a matter of like, tonally, does it work together for the narrative? And just for me personally, it might be really great on stage as a musical, but it just doesn't all come together for me as a film, even though I can appreciate a lot about it in terms of the performances, the overall messaging about it, and just how it will make people feel. I think this is definitely a feel-good movie, even though there's a lot of like heavy subject matter that unfortunately is just a harsh reality that people have to deal with. It's one of those things to where like this is it is still a positive movie for the drag queen community, the LGBTQ community, and that makes me happy regardless if I think it's just okay. So that is my review of Everybody's Talking About Jamie. Please let me know down below what you thought of the film. I would like to know, like, especially from people that are really in tune to musicals. Tell me that I'm wrong. I would love it. I maybe it's just something I'm missing, something I'm not connecting to. But I did not think it was a bad watch by any means. So if you are looking for something to watch on Amazon this weekend, check out this one. I think you'll like it. So that will do it for my review of Everybody's Talking About Jamie. Please let me know down below what you thought of the movie. And that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.